Man, this is going to be a very abbreviated and quick Louie T Network podcast. Jump on, say what I got to say, and get out of here because I don't really want to overlap with the game. Kids were starving. We had to feed them. They're still eating as we speak. So you might hear a little noise in the background, but it's all good. So we're going to get into the preview for the game tonight in Brazil. Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles. Get to the Thursday night leftovers from the epic game that was the kickoff Thursday night game between the Ravens and the Chiefs. And then I'm going to get into my money picks of the week. You're locked into the 445th installment of the Louie T Network podcast that starts now. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the 445th installment of the Louie T Network podcast. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. I can't delay. We got to get straight to the proceedings this evening. So you know what that means. Let me drop this gem on your melon. Open your mind. Let your conscience be free. You're now rolling with your man, Louie T double E. Let me open you up. Get you thinking a little bit. So Eagles hosting the Green Bay Packers over in Brazil. The NFL needs to never do this again, first and foremost. I've heard so many stories of what players can't do over there and don't do this and don't go outside and don't use your cell phone. And it seems like it's really dangerous. A lot of players said they didn't take their families over there. That's not what these international games are supposed to be about. I shouldn't feel like I'm at I'm a safety risk. I'm at, risk of being in bodily harm and danger to go play a game. That's not what this is supposed to be about. But that aside, I assume that this game's going to look crazy because they're probably playing in a massive stadium that holds a whole bunch of people. We'll see. But when you get down to the brass tacks of this actual game, this is a fascinating game. I think the NFL did a great job of scheduling these two teams going up against one another. I think it's a great matchup. I think we're going to see some offensive fireworks. I don't think either of these teams' defense is all that good. They're going to have to prove me wrong, which is why the total for the over-under in this game is 49. It's almost 50 points. And I think they're trying to tell you that these teams' defenses aren't very good. So I expect points to be scored in this game. I think the team that is able to establish the run game the best, because I think what's ultimately going to happen is whomever is able to establish the run most proficiently in this game and prolifically is going to then be able to take shots down the field. And if Green Bay can do that, we know their offense is predicated on running the football and then going play action fake, hard, heavy play action fake off of it. We all know what kind of scheme Matt LaFleur and what tree he comes from. He comes from that Shanahan tree. So they want to run that stretch, that outside zone. They want to go and stretch you, and then pull it out of the belly of that back, go heavy play action fake and take shots down the field and get those chunk plays. And then it's not always for the 50 or the 60-yard touchdown. They're looking for that 22, that 27, that 18, that 19, that 21-yard chunk play, right? Those explosives, as they call them, in the pass game. And you get those by softening up the defense with the run. So the Eagles had issues stopping the run last year. And if that continues, right, we know the secondary was trash, but you could also run on the Eagles as well last season. So if you can run the football on the Eagles, and we'll see if that's going to happen or not. No more Fletcher Cox. Obviously, they've got a new crop of defenders out there. This is a totally different Eagles defense, which is why I don't want to take the issues that the Eagles had last year defensively and just toss it on them this year. It's a new defensive coordinator. It's a new crop of players. They're young, which usually leads to mistakes, right? But being youthful and young can also lead to a resurgence. And so we'll see which of the two it looks like for the Eagles in week one. The Packers are an interesting team because outside of Josh Jacobs, who they added in the offseason, this is not a household name offense. Jordan Love is still a relatively new starter. This is only year 2 of starting for Jordan Love. Now, he burst onto the scene, especially late last season, down the stretch into the postseason. He really announced himself to the entire NFL, but he's still relatively young. The man does not have 20 starts in his, career under his belt yet. So he's still relatively new to the game as a starter. And, the skill guys are still coming along. You really don't know a lot of these guys. If you haven't been paying attention, you don't know who Dontavius Wicks is, right? A lot of you don't know who Jaden Reed is. I mean, if you haven't been really paying attention to the Green Bay Packers, you really don't know Christian Watson, right? You don't really know their roster. A lot of people don't. So um, it's going to be interesting to see if Green Bay can establish the run with Josh Jacobs. There's no AJ Dillon. If I'm not mistaken, he's out for the season. So that's a big loss for them. But if they can establish the run, that's going to give Jordan Love opportunities to run play action fake. And we know Jordan Love is a lot like, Mahomes in the sense that he can throw off of any platform. His footwork, his mechanics are funky, they're quirky, and it makes him dangerous because at moment's notice, he can throw the football 40 yards down the field flat-footed from a side arm slot and get it to the target, right? He's a dangerous guy. He's mobile. He can extend. And this is an Eagles defense that, as I just said, a lot of changes. Who's getting to the quarterback? There's no Hassan Reddick. Who's getting to the quarterback? Bryce Huff they brought in. He's a specialist. They paid him 3 down edge rusher money to be a 3rd down specialist. He can't be on the field 1st or 2nd down. Who's getting to the quarterback, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for Philadelphia defensively, what happens with Green Bay offensively, and vice versa. This is a dynamic Eagles offense, but it's a brand new scheme. Obviously, they added Saquon Barkley, and that's a different wrinkle for this Eagles offense. It adds a little bit more explosiveness in the backfield, although I thought DeAndre Swift was outstanding and just wasn't utilized enough. Barkley, it adds another element to that offense, but we already know that this offense is dangerous. They added Jahan Dotson via trade just a couple of weeks ago. They already had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They got Dallas Goedert. This is a dangerous offense. And then Jalen Hurts and his legs and what he can do, it just poses an even bigger threat when you look at what the Eagles bring to the table offensively. Can Green Bay slow that offense down? Can they stop the run effectively? Now, no Jason Kelsey, and this Eagles offensive line has shuffled some pieces around, and Mekhi Becton is in the mix, and so they're a different group up front. We'll see what they ultimately do. They moved one of their guards over to center to take the spot of Jason Kelsey, and obviously he's not going to upgrade the center position. You could have essentially effectively weakened 2 positions on the offensive line by taking your guard and Cam Jurgens and moving him to center. But we'll see. I mean, I don't like to doubt Jeff Stoutland. They call it Stoutland U for a reason. He's damn good at what he does, and so we'll see if the Eagles can continue to be one of the best offensive lines in football. If they can do that, I think they can neutralize Green Bay's pass rush, which can be dynamic at times with Kenny Clark and the edge rusher from Michigan who has come on, Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith. They can be dynamic at times. So if that offensive line is up to the task and they can neutralize those guys up front, I think they can really have their way with Green Bay's defense and really make it tough on them. The Green Bay secondary is very interesting. They've got some players. They've got some guys that can make plays. They added a familiar foe if you're an Eagles fan, in their secondary at the safety position, from the safety from the Giants, is now one of their safeties in Green Bay. So yes. Okay. So when you look at this game, what it all boils down to for me is who can establish a consistent ground game, right? And use that ground game to then take shots vertically down the field. Who can get those chunk plays? Who can finish off drives with touchdowns and not field goals? Who can stay out of their own way and make the plays? And then I think somebody's defense is going to have to step up. which one of these two teams defensively is going to step up? Vic Fangio, new defensive coordinator in Philadelphia. A lot of moving parts with that Eagles defense. You still got Darius Slay at corner, but you got a lot of young players in that secondary. But getting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back in the fold is big for the Eagles back there in the secondary. The linebacker position is up in, it's up in the air. Devin White, who they brought in here to really kind of anchor that linebacking core out of this game, didn't make the trip to Brazil. And so you're looking at Nakobe Dean, and you're looking at Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and a bunch of younger guys, and you're going to have to see if they can get the job done, right? So ultimately, I think Green Bay is going to win this game. I don't know why. I just have this inkling that Green Bay is gonna do enough in this game and win. But I got the Packers winning this game in a fun one. I think this is going to be an excellent game, and I think the Packers are going to win on a last-minute field goal, 29-27, over the Philadelphia Eagles in this ball game. This is going to be a fun one. I think, as I said yesterday or a couple of days ago about the Ravens and Chiefs opener, the NFL got that one right, and I think they got this one right over in Brazil. Give me the Green Bay Packers 29-27 over the Eagles. I'll tell you this much: if the Packers can't establish the run and the Eagles are getting pressure on Jordan Love, the Eagles will win this game. That's going to be the key, is can they run the ball? Because if they run the football, I think it's going to set up opportunities to take shots down the field, and that's going to give the Packers a chance to be successful getting chunk plays. So we'll see what happens in this ball game. I think the Packers are going to win this game. So that's my preview and prediction for the game. Now let's take a look at the Thursday night leftovers. Let's head to the kitchen real quick and see what we got. This is going to be really quick, really abbreviated, as I mentioned. I don't want to keep you here longer than I need to, because we got the Eagles-Packers game on the horizon here in about 13 minutes. So I'm going to be out of here in about 13 minutes. So let's get the first leftover. And highest viewership ever for an opening game. The NFL just continues to dominate. I've talked about the chokehold that the NFL has over the American population. We love it. We can't get enough of it. You wait 7 months for this game, and it does not disappoint. And it lived up to the billing. 28.9 million viewers tuned in to make this the highest viewed opening game ever in NFL history. And it seems like we're doing this almost every year now, that we're setting a new bar, we're setting a new high, and it doesn't matter. People are watching this, and just know that people are streaming this, they're watching this illegally. So that 28.9 is only what they can track. Imagine if you were able to factor in all of the people watching that they can't track. I mean, the NFL is king, and I've said this a million times. You take 15 steps, and then you get to number 2, whatever, and that's probably college football, because football is king in this country, right? And so NFL has a huge distance and gap between them and number 2 in this country, and it's probably college football, to be honest with you. Next leftover. Offensive lineman Ronnie Stanley of the Baltimore Ravens said after the game he felt the NFL made an example out of him. You know what? I agree with the former Golden Domer. I think the NFL did make an example out of Ronnie Stanley. And look, I don't know if they went into the game saying, we're going to make an example out of Ronnie Stanley particularly. I think they went into the game and said to themselves, if we catch somebody slipping, we're going to make an example out of that player. And it could have been Jawan Taylor. It could have been Kingsley Suamataia, the rookie for the Chiefs. It could have been, Roger Rosengarten, the rookie for the Ravens. It just happened to be Ronnie Stanley, right? And he kept doing it, right? But at some point you say, okay, they're not going to flag him anymore. They've made their point. No, they kept flagging him, right? So I think they took this opportunity on a national stage, knowing it was the first game, and there were going to be ample eyeballs. Everybody was going to be watching this game. I think they took that opportunity to say, all right, let's let the rest of the league know that we're not playing around with this new rule. Like, we don't want tackles gaining an advantage by lining up a yard or two in the backfield and making it tougher on edge rushers to turn that corner. So I do think he was right. I do think they were targeting him, not him specifically, but I think they made an example out of him. I don't disagree with him. I really, truly don't. And message received, by the way. Message received. I think most people that watched that game had the overreaction that the NFL was looking for, and I think you're going to see teams be very vigilant of their tackles lining up at that belt line, or being even with that guard, essentially. Next leftover. Jawan Taylor of the Kansas City Chiefs, we're sticking with the theme of tackles here, was the most penalized player in the National Football League last year with 17 penalties. He remained consistent and picked up right where he left off with 2 more penalties last night in the game, and could have easily been flagged for at least 2 additional penalties. I think he could have been flagged for 3 or 4 more, to be honest with you. I mean, literally, this man gets a jump on almost every third down where he knows he's in a pass set. This man is getting out of his stance about a half second to a second early. It's almost laughable sometimes how early he gets out of his stance, and he easily could have been flagged another 2 or 3 times. I think they'd let him go, right? That's got to be frustrating for the Chiefs. They knew he was a heavily penalized guy when they signed him, but my goodness, he is a walking penalty. That's so frustrating. But you know why they are able to get away with that? They're the Chiefs. Any other team in the NFL, any lesser team that can't absorb 3rd and 12, like, there's nothing worse than being in a 3rd and 6, which is semi-manageable. 3rd and 7, a little longer than you would like, but still, you can pick up 7 yards. Nothing worse than having a 3rd and 7 turn into a 3rd and 12, or a 3rd and 6 turn into a 3rd and 11. Most NFL offenses, that's a death trap, right? That's essentially the difference between you converting and keeping your drive alive and having a punt. But the Chiefs, they're a little bit different. 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, that's nothing for them. That's crumbs, right? They clean the plate with that. So you can get away with Jawan Taylor having all those penalties in Kansas City, but anywhere else, he'd be a problem. That's a mess. Next leftover. I talked about this on the show last night. I was disappointed in the lack of touches for Derrick Henry. Do you know that Derrick Henry's 13 carries last night was his least amount in an opener since 2018? That's right. You've got to go back 7 seasons ago, essentially, to get to Derrick Henry's last game where he had less than 13 carries in a season opener. It was a joke. I'm going to be honest with you. You went out, you got Derrick Henry, and look, they're going to utilize him. It's not like, this is the end of the world and, oh my God, they're not going to use Derrick Henry. It's just one game, but I just expected them to utilize Derrick Henry more than they did last night, especially with the way Lamar was running the football. It just felt like there were more opportunities for Derrick Henry to touch the football. And surprisingly, he just didn't touch it enough. 13 carries is not enough for King Henry. And especially in the opening game of his Ravens career, I just thought that they would have fed him a little bit more in that ball game. But I think you're going to see a concerted effort to get him involved moving forward. And the offense needs to be not necessarily centered around him, but he needs to be more of a focal point of that offense. And he definitely wasn't in week 1 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Last leftover of Thursday night from week number 1. And that is the Chiefs rushing attack and their running backs. Yes. Yes, I do too. Night night, guys. Love you. So for me, I'm concerned about the Chiefs' lack of running back depth. I don't know about you. Night night. I don't know about you, but I can tell you this right now. I had the Chiefs in the game last night. So I turned into a Chiefs fan late in that ball game. For about 3 4/5 quarters of ball, I'm just the NFL fan watching the game. Shit got tight late, and I turned into a Chiefs fan because I need a dub now, right? This the Chiefs turned to running back Carson Steele with the game on the line. All right, Isaiah Pacheco has, toted the rock for like 6-7 straight plays. He's dog tired. They take him out and they put in former rookie fullback at UCLA, now turned running back, Carson Steele. In one of the most important portions of the game, they gave the ball to Carson Steele, and this man got in, and immediately the Ravens had a run blitz called, penetrate into the backfield. He tries to cut back. He does, makes the first guy miss. There's another Ravens defender there. This man has the ball up here like this, trying to break tackles 4 yards in the backfield. And I said, if you fumble this goddamn ball, I'm going to find you and I'm going to hurt you. Okay? What are the Chiefs doing there? You got Samaje Perine on your roster. Why is Carson Steele getting the football in the 4-minute offense as you're trying to bleed away the clock and win the game? What are you doing? First of all, where is your running back depth? And why is it at the point where Carson Steele is in the game with 3 minutes left on a crucial second down, toting the rock? What the hell is going on right now? That's a nasty situation. You are one Isaiah Pacheco injury away from having 0 at running back. If Samaje Perine and Carson Steele are your backups at running back, you've got issues. And Isaiah Pacheco came out of the game after 1 carry, went straight to the sideline and laid down on the sidelines and was attended to. Luckily enough for them, he was able to come back in the game. They got nothing at running back. That shit should scare and terrify every Chiefs fan out there. They got to do something. That's not okay. That is not okay. Anyway, I digress. Those are your Thursday night leftovers. And with 3 minutes to go, let's get through my money picks of the week. So I'll do this very quickly. Before I do that, though, you should listen to me. I know a little something. This is what I said about the Chiefs-Ravens game in terms of the outcome on Wednesday. Take a peek. Listen, rather. The Chiefs winning this game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. I see the Chiefs winning a 27-20 ball game, 27-23, 27-20. The Ravens will need a touchdown late and not get it, right? They'll need a touchdown late and they won't get it. Now, is your boy nasty or is your boy nasty? So let's try my hand again. I told you I'm on a mission this year to kill it. So I already got the Chiefs, so I'm 1-0 already. I gave you the Packers already. That's my second game. Let's get to Sunday. And we'll race through these quickly. Falcons are at home hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers don't even know what the hell they got going on at quarterback. Russell Wilson dealing with an hamstring injury. He's questionable I think he's going to play, but he's questionable on the injury report. They also are without Roman Wilson, their rookie wide receiver. I just don't like this spot for the Steelers. And it's Kirk Cousins' first game in an Atlanta Falcons uniform, so I'm looking forward to that. Give me the Atlanta Falcons at home to take down the Pittsburgh Steelers. This kind of feels like one of those Mike Tomlin grinded out 17-16 victories, but not for Kirk's first game in Atlanta. Give me the Falcons there. Bills at home hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Look, I know a lot of people pick the Bills for their survivor pick. This is a dangerous, scary game. I would not be shocked if the Arizona Cardinals, I told you, I think the Cardinals are going to be good this year. Better than people expect. I'll say that much. I think they'll be competing for a playoff spot come season's end. That's how good I think they're going to be this season. I don't know if they're going to make it. This could be a statement game for them. Go into Buffalo. And I told you, I think the Bills are shaky. But when it's all said and done, I can talk all that shit I want. And I tell you that the Arizona Cardinals are a dangerous team, but I still like the Bills at home in this game to get it done. Give me the Buffalo Bills. Chicago Bears are at home. Caleb Williams making his NFL debut at home in front of the Bears faithful as they take on the Tennessee Titans. This is actually a very even contest because I don't know what Titans team is going to show up, but the Bears are the best team, the better team on paper between the two of them. The Titans have a lot of question marks, but I'll tell you what, you don't know what you're getting from Tennessee. And if the Bears show up and they turn it over and they make mistakes, Tennessee could easily go in there and squeak out a dub. But I got Chicago finding a way to get it done at home. Give me the Bears and Caleb Williams' debut in the National Football League. Cincinnati Bengals are at home against the New England Patriots. This also acts as my sole survivor pick. Now, I'm very nervous when it comes to going with the mob. Essentially, probably half of the sole survivor pool went with Cincinnati as their survivor pool pick. That makes me uncomfortable, but they're playing the New England Patriots. And I don't know if Jamar Chase is going to play or not. He's going to play in the game. He's doing this back and forth shit, talking about, I might be limited if I play and all this shit. They don't need Jamar Chase to beat the New England Patriots. Okay. They'll take care of business there. Joe Burrow is back, and I look forward to seeing them run it up on the Patriots in this game. And I say that and watch me be biting my nails and sitting on the edge of my seat as they squeak out a 23-17 victory or some bullshit like that. They should win this game going away. Give me Cincinnati and also lock them in as my sole survivor pick of the week. Houston Texans are at the Indianapolis Colts, AFC South family business. This is dangerous. Do you know the last 5 games in this series, 4 have been won by the road team, and the one that wasn't won by the road team was a tie? So the last 5 games in this series, the road team did not lose. Okay. Hence, I'm foreshadowing that I'm going with the Houston Texans here in this game, even though I think Indianapolis could win this game. But give me the Houston Texans on the road. Miami Dolphins hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is an interesting game, Battle of Florida. It's really not a Battle of Florida. The Dolphins are the better team here, but I think Jacksonville is a sleeper. Well, people are sleeping on Jacksonville. I'm asleep, and I'm not waking up yet. Give me the Miami Dolphins in this ball game. New Orleans Saints hosting the Carolina Panthers. I don't really know what to expect from Carolina. I do think they're going to be an improved team, but we saw nothing from them. They showed nothing. So we have no idea what Bryce Young is looking like. We have no idea what this new revamped offensive line looks like. We have no idea what the skill position weapons they put around him look like. I really don't know what to tell you, right? I'll say this. The Saints should win this game. They're at home. I don't love the Saints, but I think they're going to get it done at home. Give me the New Orleans Saints there in that NFC South battle. Giants at home hosting the Minnesota Vikings. This is an interesting game because the Vikings are starting Sam Darnold. No one believes in the Vikings. Neither do I. The Giants are starting Daniel Jones. Nobody believes in Daniel Jones. Neither do I. And so this is a flip a coin game. The Giants are at home. I think they're, a well-coached team. And so normally when I'm not sure, I just go with the home team. So give me the Giants in this game to find a way to get it done against the Minnesota Vikings. Chargers taking on the Los Angeles Raiders. So AFC West family business here. This is an interesting game because Justin Herbert's coming off of a foot injury. He really hasn't done anything this entire preseason. He wasn't going to play in any of the games anyway, but he's coming off of plantar fasciitis in his foot, and that could be a lingering issue. He was not on the injury report initially. Then they put him on it for cosmetic reasons. But if he's good, they're good. Give me the Chargers over the Raiders in week number 1. Seattle Seahawks at home hosting the Denver Broncos, the NFL debut of Bo Nix as he takes on the Seattle Seahawks. That should be a fun one. Remember, Bo Nix played at Oregon the last, couple of years, I believe. Was it a couple or few years? I think it was the last 2 years. So he's very familiar being up in that Pacific Northwest. And I think that environment won't shock him. It won't, blow his doors off. But I just think the Seahawks are the better team now. They got a brand new head coach. They got a whole new system going on out there. A lot of moving parts. Denver could go in there and sneak those boys, but I've got Seattle at home with Geno. Oh, Geno getting it done. Give me the Seahawks in that ball game. Cleveland Browns hosting the Dallas Cowboys. This is a fun game. America's game of the week. Tom Brady's first game as a broadcaster. So lots of things to focus in on that game. But when it's all said and done, the action on the field is what we care about. And it's the Dallas Cowboys, new look Cowboys, obviously with Dan Quinn no longer the defensive coordinator. Mike Zimmer entered into the mix. Everybody's kind of like waiting to see if Dak gets that deal. Dak's getting the deal tomorrow. All right, you heard it here first. Dak Prescott signing a long-term deal tomorrow, because if they don't sign him to a deal tomorrow, shit is hitting the fan in Dallas. So that long-term deal is coming down tomorrow. They'll get something done because they're not stupid, right? They're crazy. The Joneses are crazy. They're not stupid, contrary to popular belief. So fresh off of that new contract, Dak Prescott is going to go out there and soil himself, wet the bed, vomit and puke all over himself. That Browns defense is going to have him Bazity. He's going to turn it over. They're going to get to him. They're going to make him uncomfortable. They got no run game. And they did sign Dalvin Cook. I don't even know what the hell that means anymore. They got two aging backs in their backfield. Good luck with that. I'll take the Browns. Look, I don't even know what the hell Deshaun Watson is. I just trust that defense. That was the best defense at home a season ago to get it done against a Cowboys team that I think is going to go in there and, like I saw them do against teams like Miami and Buffalo last year that could play some defense, I think they're going to go on the road and they're going to struggle. Give me Cleveland in that ball game. And then got the Washington Commanders winning over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you watch my episode of the Commanders Nightly News, then you already know that. I think that's a very winnable game for Washington, but they could easily lose that game too. And I explained myself on that show. So if you're looking for a thorough breakdown, go there. But I got the Commanders in that game. And Sunday Night Football, Detroit Lions hosting the Los Angeles Rams, a rematch of the wild card weekend game that was a thriller, 24-23. Lions held on for the victory there. Looking forward to seeing this game. Think there could be some fireworks in this game. You could see this thing get to the 30s, both teams, one team in the 30s, the other in the high 20s. I think this is going to be a fun game. Stafford, he's already been back to Detroit once in that playoff game, but he's coming back to the scene of the crime. So that should be fun. Love the Lions. Love Dan Campbell. Love that new Applebee's commercial. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that and peeped it out yesterday, but I love Detroit in this game as well. Give me the Lions at home to take care of the Aaron Donald-less Los Angeles Rams. Monday night is going to be a great game, but guess what? We'll be back on Monday to break that one down. So I'm not going to give you my thoughts on that game yet. We'll break down week one's action on Monday's podcast, and then I'll also have my prediction and preview for Monday Night Football then. But I've already went over my time limit by 8 minutes. The game's probably already started. Good thing I have a pause button and I can just hit play and catch up when I get to the commercials. So I'm going to get to the game. You guys know where to find me when that game meets its conclusion. I'll be right here in this seat, breaking it all down, hopefully telling you that the Green Bay Packers got it done and your man Louie T is 2-0 to start off my season making picks. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, and my money picks of the week. Look forward to chopping it up with you guys here in, let's call it 3 hours or so, roughly. Until then, I'm your man Louie T signing off. You guys enjoy the football game. You know I will, and then we'll come back and we'll break it all down. Take care.
LouieTeeNetwork.